I think it's safe to say that SnapMap is not a thing in Doom Eternal. Whether you like this decision or not, we can all admit SnapMap did what it needed to do in Doom 2016, and that was being an experiment to see if SnapMap would be loved by Doom players. But unfortunately, it seemed like the Doom players liked the campaign and multiplayer more than SnapMap. So this gave me an idea. I decided to make a video just to give you guys my opinion of why SnapMap failed in Doom 2016. And once I give you guys my reasons, I think it'll be very clear to see why SnapMap wasn't included in Eternal and why not many people really use it or play it nowadays. I'm going to give you guys 10 reasons because that sounds like a good number, and let's get to it. First reason is the launch experience. It was underwhelming, not a lot of fun maps to play. A lot of them were like demos to showcase what SnapMap was all about, and the ones that were actually fun to play were very easy to master, and then you lose interest in them fairly quickly. On top of that, we didn't have much to do. We were stuck with 2 weapons only, custom geo was a rarity, only UEC modules, and it was just kind of disappointing how SnapMap was when Doom 2016 was first released. It felt like a beta to me when I look back at it, and I really wish we could have at least had, free update to SnapMap for the launch experience, because it provided more content that I believe it would have pleased more of the Doom fans and gave us enough features to allow players to get creative with map making. Also, I wish we had better maps to play on launch day. Like, if they provided the developer-made SnapMap campaigns like they did during the free update 4 days, I think that would have been a better first impression for SnapMap. I also want to mention that on launch day, there were a lot of bad maps. Like, so many people were making these maps really quickly. A lot of them just weren't that fun to play. Yeah, I feel like that kind of, plagued SnapMap's reputation in the long run, if we can, say about that for sure. So the second reason are the load times. We all know how awful the load times are in SnapMap, and in today's gaming age, it's just unacceptable. Most gamers are not going to enjoy waiting that long to play SnapMaps, since a lot of games don't have that kind of load times, and you'll have to go through that every time you play SnapMap. And of course, you need to load the map itself too before you can play, so there's a lot of loading to go through before you can play a map. My third reason are the technical issues. SnapMap, at least from what I remembered during the free update 2 days, I remembered there were a bunch of glitches the editor had. I remember the static player blocking volume glitch would allow off-host players to clip through, and I remember SnapMap was just more unstable than launch day. Like, I remember crashing so much more. Basically, the more updates we got, the less stable and more problematic SnapMap became. To this day, SnapMap still has a bunch of glitches that haven't been fixed, and there are probably some more hidden glitches that are yet to be discovered. These glitches can be frustrating. Like, I was playing a co-op session with my friends, and I remember we kept having problems and disconnects while playing, and I just never understood why that was the case. You also gotta love maps that can make you crash SnapMap and then having you to load it again. It's just a shame that the devs have tried to fix the crashing issue of SnapMap, but it never seemed to be 100% fixed. And I don't think SnapMap can be fixable where it'll have 0 glitches, because like I said, there are tons of it. The fourth reason is the lack of dev support. This can be applied to what I said about the SnapMap glitches. The devs have fixed the various glitches from the past, but there are still a lot of them left, and this can destroy the SnapMap experience at times. I remember when I first found out the decal glitch, where this thing used to destroy the co-op functionality, and it took them a while to fix that issue, and it was so frustrating that I had to remove all the decals I did for City Survival, because I literally just wasted my time when I was decorating my map with the decals. I wish something like that could have been fixed as soon as possible, but it always took a long time. It also doesn't help that the developers pretty much ignored the SnapMap community by not promoting SnapMaps for players to play on social media. The fifth reason is the SnapMap's limitations. As powerful SnapMap is, and I always feel like it is fun to bypass its limitations, but the more you use it, the more you wish there were certain features that can be improved upon, like not forcing myself to use the teleport destination to put enemies on top of objects, and the grid room size. I wish these kinds of limitations weren't so present, and I think it would have definitely made the map editing more fun to use, but also I feel like it'll encourage more mappers to make, so they don't feel, they don't feel like disgusted by like the limitations, because I know like some map makers, they'll like play around with SnapMap and all this, but then they end up realizing they can't do that, and yeah, it could definitely destroy your motivation to work on maps, and this can definitely destroy the potential of having more map makers in the SnapMap community. Sixth reason is SnapMap is not really a public match friendly experience. There's no real playlist options like the multiplayer does, and SnapMap just traps new players really easily. People think popular maps are what most people play, and popular maps are very outdated to what we've been making since Free Update 4. And I wish if we had a playlist option, we could find similar maps that actually have quality to them, and this means people can play with each other easier, and we can enjoy the public match experience a lot more when people are playing good maps rather than a bunch of maps that are very outdated in today's standards. Seventh reason is the player's taste in terms of maps. I know some people wanted to play more campaign styled snap maps that are more akin to the main campaign, but in the world of snap maps, everyone is going to make anything, and that means it might not be similar to the main campaign's style of gameplay. So if you're looking for those kinds of snap maps, and then you bump into like a Serious Sam style snap map, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much. But it's not, just that, but I also feel like, since SnapMap really allows players to do so much things with like the Doom's sandbox, I think it's really tough for players to find certain snap maps that can fit their, certain preference or taste when it comes to playing snap maps. Eighth reason, it was the updates. The updates were great for SnapMap for providing more content, but it also provided more glitches and technical issues at the same time, and it took months for them to happen, and I think people just lost interest in waiting and just moved on to other things. Free Update to me was where SnapMap reached its potential with all like the new features, the heavier emphasis on custom geo. Like, it was great how much content that we got in Free Update 4, but I think it was just too late to bring back the folks who were already uninterested with SnapMap from the beginning or Free Update 2 era. Ninth reason is it failed to be a co-op mode. SnapMap is the only mode where you can fight demons with a friend. However, it's tough to find a match without a friend, and with many glitches apparent in the co-op play for SnapMap, it's not going to be an optimal experience for some players. And this is the final reason, and the 10th reason is SnapMap failed to live its potential. SnapMap was ambitious, a map editor, a place to play more single player content, play more multiplayer content, and it's also the only mode where you can play co-op, and it only does it half right, and that's being a map editor and a place for more single player content. Multiplayer is pretty much a joke compared to the actual game's multiplayer due to the lack of player count and game settings, and co-op is tough to find a match unless you have friends, and you better pray you play a stable map and not a buggy map where it can crash SnapMap. It seems like SnapMap just wasn't loved as much compared to the campaign and multiplayer, and I feel like it just didn't scratch the itch of those people who played those modes, which is what I believe id Software wanted SnapMap to do. And those are my 10 reasons of why I believe SnapMap failed in Doom 2016. I do love SnapMap, even though I always had a feeling it was a failed investment in Doom 2016 while Eternal was still unannounced. And yes, anybody who uses SnapMap a lot knows it absolutely sucks that they pulled the plug for SnapMap in the next Doom game. But we have to all admit, SnapMap is great, but it's a mess at the same time, especially when you factor in many different angles like I did in this video. With that said, I do hope SnapMap will still be used in the future, especially when Doom Eternal comes out, because if there's one thing that's good about Doom Eternal not having SnapMap, is that it encourages you to come back to Doom 2016.